I used to believe that trust was the quiet foundation of love, invisible but solid. My wife, Claire, was the kind of woman who could calm a storm with her smile. For 6 years, we'd built a life that felt peaceful, steady, and safe. Or at least I thought we had. It started small, the kind of changes you don't notice until they're all you can see. Her phone, once left face up on the counter, began living in her pocket. Late-night messages appeared, and laughter followed, the kind that sounded too free, too secret. I told myself it was stress from work, a new group of friends, anything but what my gut was whispering. One Friday evening, she told me she'd be spending the night at her best friend Megan's place. "Girls' night," she said with a quick kiss and that practiced smile. I nodded, pretending to be busy with my laptop, but something in her voice wobbled, a hesitation so thin most people would have missed it. I didn't. After she left, the house felt wrong. Too quiet, too still. I poured myself a drink and sat, in the dim light, scrolling through old photos of us. Our wedding, our trip to Colorado, her smile that used to mean safety. My phone buzzed with her text, "Made it to Megan's, don't wait up." I typed back a simple heart emoji and stared at the screen. Then on instinct, I opened her Find My app, something we'd both set up years ago when she lost her phone on a trip. I told myself I wouldn't look, but my thumb moved anyway. Her location blinked onto the map. Not Megan's street, not even close. She was across town, near a quiet row of apartment buildings I didn't recognize. I zoomed in, Building 14, Crescent Lane. My heart didn't race, it slowed, heavy and deliberate, like it knew it was walking toward something final. I could have driven there. I could have called her, screamed, demanded answers. But instead, I sat back and thought. If she was lying once, she'd lie again. So I decided to test it, and quietly. I typed a message. "Hey, the power just went out. Everything's dark. The back door won't lock. Sent." 3 dots appeared almost instantly. Then her reply. "What? Are you okay?" I didn't answer. I watched. 1 minute passed. 2. Then her location dot started to move. Fast. Across the city. Straight toward home. By the time headlights cut across the driveway, I was standing in the kitchen, phone on the counter, lights still glowing. She burst through the door, breathless, keys clattering onto the floor. Her hair was messy, makeup smudged, not from sleepover laughter but from something else entirely. "Are you okay?" "What happened?" she gasped, scanning the room like she expected a fire. I looked at her and said quietly, "Funny. You made it home faster than it takes to drive from Megan's." For a second she froze. Her pupils dilated. Her breathing caught. Then the mask slipped. That perfect, calm expression she always wore cracked just enough to show the truth beneath it. I can explain," she whispered. I didn't shout. Didn't ask who or why or how long. I just gestured to the couch. "Then explain." She sat, hands trembling. Words stumbled out, half-truths, fragments of excuses. Something about an old friend, a rough week, too much wine. She never said his name, and I never asked. The silence between us was the kind that kills anything still alive. When she finished, she looked up at me, eyes wet. "It was a mistake," she said. "It didn't mean anything." I nodded slowly. "Then why did one text make you panic?" Her lips parted, but nothing came out. She just sat there shaking, realizing that the lie had already done the damage words never could. That night, I didn't sleep. She cried herself quiet beside me, while I stared at the ceiling thinking about how trust doesn't shatter all at once. It erodes like stone under rain. In the morning, I made coffee for both of us out of habit more than love. She looked small, like someone who knew a verdict was coming. "I'm sorry," she whispered again. I set her mug down and said, "You didn't just cheat, Claire. You rewrote our history and hoped I'd never read the new ending." She reached for my hand, but I pulled away, not in anger, in clarity. I realized then that peace doesn't come from forgiving someone who broke you. It comes from knowing you won't let them do it again. By the weekend, she'd packed a suitcase. There was no shouting, no begging, no grand goodbye. Just the sound of zippers and the hollow thud of her heels as she left. When the door clicked shut, I sat in the same chair where I'd sent that one message, the one that exposed everything. The air felt lighter, even with the ache sitting deep in my chest. I looked at her last text still glowing on my phone. Be home soon. I smiled bitterly. She was right about that at least. It's strange how one lie can build an entire version of love, and one text can burn it down. I didn't need revenge or closure or explanations anymore. I just needed honesty, even if it came too late. And as I deleted her contact, I realized something I wish I'd known years ago. You can't lose someone who was never really there.